Hey friends, so sorry that I had to abruptly stop the broadcast and get off. I am back and I'm going to pick back up where I left. I usually do like recaps and stuff like that, but I don't think I have it in me to do today. So, yeah, I'm just jumping back on. I am sending out like one more notification and then I'm going to immediately get back into it. Thank you all for coming back on and rejoining. I super appreciate it. Okay, yes, we're back. We're back. Okay, so I'm seeing comments because I got Facebook up on my computer and I'm about to get off of there and then get back to like focusing. And because like I said earlier, it's taking a lot of willpower to stay focused right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back into this. JK Smith, thanks for coming back. Yes. Thank you for everyone that is getting back on. Hopefully the sound is okay and my connection is okay. So where I got off at, I was talking about like a bag that one of our children was wearing and how I realized that this bag was so small and it didn't fit them anymore. It didn't fit them anymore. So I had to put down like the judge authoritative thing and I was like, listen, I'm throwing that out and that's it. And they were like, well, do we have another book bag? I said, no, but we're gonna order one. And so we got on one of my favorite sites and we found something, and I found something first and then I gave them the phone to see like, hey, you like this? And then they just went in and did their own thing and picked what they wanted. JK Smith, thank you for letting me know that you can hear me. I super appreciate it. And so when when we ordered it and it came in the mail, they just like, it didn't take long either, which is another thing I love about this website. Although something happened this recent time where I need to email them. Okay, I got distracted, but let me get back to this message. The whole point was they were hanging on to something that they loved, they found value in, but the problem was it didn't fit anymore. And when I'm talking to you about incredibly unimaginable opportunities that are opening up for you, something that can stop you from seeing them and stop you from getting them, not only is like guilt from what you're losing or what's being left behind, not only is the attachment that you feel when you're letting go of one thing, when one thing is ending and a new beginning is coming, but it's also that you hang on to stuff that just doesn't fit you anymore. It just doesn't fit you anymore. It doesn't fit you. It doesn't fit where you're going. It doesn't match like what you'll need to be shifting into in the future. It just doesn't go. And if someone's having a hard time understanding what I'm saying, think about jobs. There are jobs that do not fit the future. There are jobs that exist now that don't fit the future. There are jobs that have been created in the last 5 years that fit the future, and you'll see more of them emerging. Um, you'll see more jobs that complement technology and don't compete with it. You'll see more jobs that are going to be maintaining systems that help people like you and me automate our lives and make life easier for us. You're going to see more things like that happening. So if you're having a hard time understanding like what I'm saying, I just gave you an example. There are jobs that are popping up now that fit the future. There are jobs that exist now that don't fit the future. And sometimes when we're hanging on to something that we got a connection with, it just doesn't fit the future. It doesn't fit. It doesn't matter how awesome and how amazing it is. It doesn't fit the future. I remember having an idea at work one time, and the idea was relevant when I got it, right? It was relevant when I had the idea. And then when it came time to pitch the idea, it was no longer relevant because the system was changing and my idea was no longer relevant. And one of my leaders was like, this is a great idea, but we're not going to need this. And in the next few months, we're phasing that out. Okay, so there are some things that just don't fit the future. And no matter how amazing they are, it's not going to be a benefit to you. Okay, grace and peace, Diane. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back on. Okay, so that was the second point. Okay, that's the second thing that that I was talking about. I don't even know what to call it because I'm tired, and unfortunately, that's another side effect. Brain does not flow like I always want it to, but it's because it's like, hey, lady, I want to rest. And so we talked about guilt. We talked about attachment with things that we're leaving behind, or that we're losing, or things that are coming to a close, that are coming to an end. And then we've gotten on to us holding on to stuff that just doesn't fit us. It doesn't fit us, and it doesn't fit the future. It doesn't fit what we need. My kid had a bag that I had bought for them when they were little, and they just loved this bag, and they were just holding on to it. But when I looked at it, I'm looking at you like, this bag does not fit you. This looks crazy. Listen, I don't care how much you love it, you gotta get something new. Okay? And so that's like the second thing that can stop you from getting getting access and walking into these incredibly unimaginable opportunities that are opening up for you. And then the second thing that I thought of was something that I wrote on February the 28th. So I'm pulling this up now. Something that I wrote on February the 28th. And this, where is it at? Okay. Boom. Money. Okay. We hate talking about money, right? But some of you will allow money to stop you from getting access to these incredibly unimaginable opportunities, because you'll think, and when I say that, let me explain it. You'll think that, oh, I need something else. I need to buy something else, or I have to have this much money to do what I want to do. And what that does is it stops you from looking at what you presently have and just working with what's in your hands. Okay. So when I say money can stop you from getting access to these incredibly unimaginable opportunities that are opening up, it's because you'll look at things from a limited perspective. You'll focus too much on what you don't have versus focusing on what's in front of you. If I waited for everything I needed, if you waited for everything you needed, if you waited for things to be perfect, then you would never do anything, because nothing will ever be perfect. There will just be times in life where things are optimal, as I like to call them, where it's like, okay, if we take this risk, it's a pretty good chance that things will work out positively. And that's what you have to do. So when I say that money will stop you from accessing these incredibly unimaginable opportunities that are opening up, it's more that you are focusing on what you don't have versus just using what you have, using what's in your hands, using the resources around you. So really what's stopping you is not the lack of resources, it's not money. None of that is stopping you. You're stopping you. Okay? And I've said before that we, the people that we are, when we look in the mirror ourselves, we're our own worst opponent at times, you know. And we get locked into something that we see in our heads, these ideals that we have. We get locked into these stories and these dreams that we want so deeply, not realizing that the dream that you want can happen, the idea that you can happen, but it's not going to always flow through your plan. Sometimes the plan has to shift and change. I was talking to my husband today, and I was praying. I was just telling, thank you, God. Like, I got so much stuff to tell y'all. I can't tell you now, though. I got to tell you when we're all the way on the other side. And I was just telling the Father, thank you for certain things. And I was reminded of this proverb: many are the plans that a man has in his heart. And the scripture just says man, but we know that most of us on here are women. So let's just understand that when I say man, I'm not being literal, okay? I'm talking about humanity, okay? Men, women, children, whatever. I'm talking about humanity. I can imagine even little dogs have little plans in their heart too, and sometimes they get shifted. Like the dog that just decided it was gonna come outside and roll out, I guess being at the door and hearing the birds wasn't enough. It wanted to go outside. But anyway, here's the proverb. Many are the plans that a man has in his heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. We get stuck on the way we see it. We get tunnel vision, and tunnel vision can be good, but then sometimes tunnel vision can hurt you when the vision that you have, that you've locked in on, that target that you've locked in on doesn't happen. Okay, and now you're just so stuck on it that you can't see that there's another opportunity. Do you understand how that will stop you from accessing the opportunities that are opening up? If you were so locked in on it can only happen this way, it will only happen one of three ways, then it's like you're not giving yourself flexibility to see that good things are happening and can happen for you, and they are happening for you. Okay, am I making sense? So when I talked about, okay, money is not stopping you. Stop looking at what you don't have. Stop looking at what you don't have, because it's stopping you from seeing opportunity. And that ultimately, when people think that money is stopping them, sometimes it's them stopping them. Okay, and that plan, that idea, that notion that you have in your head. I remember talking to someone, and as I'm talking to this person, they didn't know it, but I actually wanted to like loan them a car, and they didn't know that, but they were so locked in on, well, this is going to happen and this is what I'm going to do. And it's like, man, you can't see that there's other opportunities that are bubbling around you. There's other things that can happen because you're so committed to the way you thought things would work, and things don't always work out the way they thought that we would. But even when they don't work out the way that we thought they would, does that mean that they can't be better? No, it doesn't, y'all. Even when stuff doesn't work out as you plan, hear me. Even when stuff doesn't work out as you expected and as you planned, it doesn't mean that the other direction can't be better. It doesn't mean that. Okay? It doesn't mean that. The end of a matter is better than its beginning. There's new opportunities. You don't know what's over there. Carolyn, thanks for coming back. You don't know what's over there. You don't know what's over there, but what I'm telling you is that it's an opportunity. And you have to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm not going to let what I've said stop me from having what can exist. I'm not going to let the idea that I'm locked in on stop me from having what can exist. I'm not going to let anything stop me from having what can exist. I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to let it. And y'all, I'm one of those people that when I lock in on something, I lock in on it. I lock in on it. And I've had to learn over the years. My grandmother told me one day, I was talking about a plant, and I just wanted this plant to be just perfectly lined up where I wanted it, and the plant wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And she told me, she said, you need to relax. She said, you're too intense. She was like, you are too intense. She was like, you're too intense. So I know from personal experience what it's like to lock in on something and then to have to shift in another direction. And as I've gotten older, as I've been able to listen and lean on people that have lived way longer than me, it's a blessing for me to have my grandmother. She's like Google. She got all the answers, y'all. Like, it's a blessing to have her. And it's a blessing to have her when I recognize how valuable she is, too. Because sometimes when we're younger, we don't recognize the value that we have when we have people that have lived longer than us around us. Okay, but anyways, she told me, she was like, you're too intense. You need to relax. And I was like, okay. So I know what it's like to be locked in on something and then to have to tell yourself, no, great things can happen another way. And that's what you have to say to yourself. Write it on your mirror. Put your name up there. Great things can happen another way. If it works out like I planned, it's fine. But I am open. I am flexible. I am open to incredibly unimaginable opportunities opening up for me. Things that I didn't expect, things that I didn't plan. I'm not going to allow myself to let the discouragement freeze me and to have me living over and over in something that made me feel ashamed and something that embarrassed me and something that humiliated me. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not. I'm going to laugh at those situations. I'm going to learn from those situations, and then I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again. I'm going to be flexible, and I'm going to know that something great is waiting for me, because the end of a matter is better than its beginning. I hope I'm making sense. And then here was the very, let me finish reading this to you. Money is not stopping you. Brace yourself. You are stopping you. Grace and peace, Sarah Mia. If you all have heard my music for the Smoking Profit podcast, I play it on my YouTube channel at the end of my videos, and I actually play it at the end of my podcast too. Like, don't ask me why I did that. I just felt like doing it, and I go with stuff that's different, and it's actually working out for us. I find that it's quite effective, having my music at the end versus at the beginning, because at the beginning I'm finding that I want to give people information and pull them in and hook them versus giving them music. But Sarah Mia is the one who did my song. Working with her was a great experience. I told her what I had. I let her see my existing stuff. I gave her a brief overview of what my brand was about, and she wrote it and grabbed the music, and it's just perfect. So if you've heard my stuff, she's the one who did it. And Sarah Mia, if you want to drop your website there, then I know that's right, Mia in the morning. If you want to drop that there, and I bet it's working for you. But okay, so I'm getting distracted because I was thinking about TikToks and jingles, and how jingles are really really good, and how the Lord had you moving ahead of time when you were talking about jingles several years ago, and when you started moving into that, and now it's like it's the perfect time for you, because on Instagram you can find a popular topic on Instagram or TikTok and create a song around it, and people will use your song. Like, I saw the dopest music that was on some reels, and it's been used like so many times, but it was like a song, create, and it was very 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 plain. Someone was just banging on the desk making a beat like people used to do back in the day, and they were just like create something 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 something. But a lot of people are using it. But anyways, so I just think it's cool how when we're flexible, stuff like that just works out for us. We find ourselves moving ahead of time. But anyways, let me finish up this message. Okay, so money is not stopping you. Brace yourself. You are stopping you. Do not stop yourself or excuse what you could be doing because of what you don't have. No more limitations to, oh, I can't do this because of what I don't have. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you have, and use what you have. Use what's in your hands. Use what's around you. I started my podcast with actually, with a Chromebook, y'all. I started recording on a Chromebook. I didn't have a mic. So for people who are like, I gotta have a mic to record myself on a podcast, no, you don't, because the way that the phone companies are doing stuff now, the way that Apple's doing it, the way that Samsung is doing it, they're optimizing phones because they know that people use their phones for everything. They're optimizing their phones for film and cinematography and photography. They're optimizing these microphones. So no, you can do what you got to do with what you got in your hands, okay? So look around. Look at what's in your hands. And here's something very, very important. Ask people for help. Ask people for help, even when you've heard no. Ask people for help. If someone tells you no, keep going, because a yes is going to come. A yes is going to come. Yeses are waiting for you. A yes will come. Sometimes you may have to ask the same person. Sometimes you may have to rework your strategy and ask a different way. I'm thinking about a technique I learned in this book that is really good. I'll drop the link in here too. This book about influence, that, and there was some research done where a group asked some college students to volunteer for something, and the first request that they had was very, very extreme. The second request that they had was not so extreme, and because they asked them the very extreme thing first, the responses, the positive responses where people agreed to the commitment that they were trying to get, was better than if they had not asked them the extreme request first, because in their minds, they were looking at it like, well, I ain't got to do all this. I just got to do this. Okay, I'll give in. So it's like a technique. But anywho, sometimes you'll have to ask. And if I'm not making sense, y'all, please just let me know I'm not making sense. Ask me to repeat something because I'm tired and I'm not explaining myself as diligently as I may before. And then I'm talking fast because I honestly am ready to get off of here. But so sometimes you will have to ask different people. Sometimes you will have to ask the same people. A yes is going to be waiting. Just don't get to the point of where you're like, I'm not going to ask for help, because guess what? You need people. You need somebody around you. You need something that someone has that is in close proximity to you. It could be someone that you are at work with. It could be someone that you know on the internet. I can't tell you how many people on the internet have been a blessing to me. People that I did not meet physically until years after I'd been introduced to them. Y'all, I can't tell you. So like, just open up your mouth. Just ask. Just start talking. Don't be embarrassed to say, hey, like, I'm doing this, do you know anyone? Don't be embarrassed to do that. Yes, build rapport with people before you just start asking them for stuff. But don't be afraid to ask, because you're going to hear a no at times, but you're also hearing yes. Yeses are waiting for you. You just got to go for it. And then the very last thing that I heard that was related to this was blossom and bloom. Blossom and bloom. And that makes me think, of course, about spring, which is just this beautiful, beautiful time. And I wrote something that I'm going to use in a prayer, and hopefully I'll get time to record the prayer this week. It'll be like a 5-second prayer, 8-second prayer. It won't be long. But I'm praying that you blossom and that you bloom, because I already know that incredibly unimaginable opportunities are opening up. So I'm praying that you blossom and that you bloom in this season and with this opportunity. How unfortunate would it be for you to be on a stage where it's your time to shine, and you just be stuck in grief and stuck with this attachment that you have to the past, and just stuck into looking and focusing on what you don't have, or stuck on the way that you thought that things would work out, and you miss the opportunity because you're on the stage, and you miss the opportunity because you won't open up, you won't blossom, and you won't bloom. So I'm praying that you blossom and that you bloom. And then this is the part that I don't necessarily like sharing, and I was trying to find a palatable way to share it. But something in this season will demand more from you. And when I put demand, that was my soft way of saying it. My soft way of saying that everything is not going to feel good, that you'll experience when opportunities open up for you, because the opportunity is creating a transition into something different. And anytime there's transition, you're going from a place of knowing to not knowing, and it creates chaos. But if you just stick with it, if you just stick with it, if you just stay in there, you will bring order to that chaos, and you will blossom and bloom, and something beautiful will happen. You carry more than you know exists in you. You carry more than you know exists in you. There are things in you that you don't even know are there yet. Beautiful things, powerful things. And because there's going to be a demand for what you have, and because you're going to be walking into these opportunities that are opening up, these incredibly unimaginable opportunities that are opening up, that thing inside of you will emerge, and it'll bring peace to the chaos. Because as I said, anytime you're going from one thing to the next, there's a transition. It's going to create a little bit of chaos, because you're going from something that is known to something that is unknown. You're going from something that is old and established to something that is new, that needs more attention. It's like my plants. When I first put my trees in the ground, there's a tree that I want to plant this year, by the way. But when I plant a tree, I'm planting it in 2 seasons, either spring or fall, because I don't want it to be extremely hot, I don't want it to be extremely cold. But when I first plant my tree, I have to pay a lot of attention to it. I have to give it water like every day because I want the tree's roots to settle in the ground and to have a firm foundation so that it will grow. If what I do for it in its early stages will determine its lifespan. If I don't take care of it early on, if I don't take care of it when I first put it in the ground, then it's likely going to die and I'm going to waste money. When I go and start a fire, cuz I like to sit outside with the fire going. So when I go to start a fire, I have to pay attention to that fire in the beginning to get it going. I have to be mindful of um, getting my sticks in there, getting them in the right way, so that it will burn and it will keep going, or else the fire is just going to go out. The same thing applies for you. Now, you can do it. I hope you're excited. I am winding down. My energy has left me, my virtue is gone, and I'm getting off of here. But I hope this message bless you. If you're just coming on at this point, then and I'll drop the link in here later so that you can go back and listen to part one. And then what I'll probably do is put both parts together and turn this into a podcast. So if you're subscribed or you follow the Smoking Profit podcast, then you will be able to share this there and hear this there if you want to hear this word again. Does anyone have any questions, any comments, any feedback, any confirmations, anything that you want to say before I get off of here? Anybody want to say anything at all? Anybody got anything to say to me? Because I want to tell you that I'm tired. Okay, so I'm looking at the comments. Carolyn Francis says, yes, I think she was agreeing. Sarah Mia said, hey to everyone, and that's what she does for me in the morning. So, me in the morning is Sarah Mia's morning encouragements that she does. I think you all should go and follow her and check it out. She's pretty amazing. So, Jatova Jones says, get your rest. Yes, Jatova, I didn't know you were on here. Jatova just released, Jatova, my words are not with me today. So I probably am about to chop up what you did really quickly, but I'm gonna try my best. Okay, please, Jatova, tag your um your cooking page in the comments for me so that people can see it. But Jatova just released her first pre-recorded cooking lesson, and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I would love for you all to go and check it out. Her website is propheticcooking.com, and this beautiful image that she has on her website, the very first one, it is something that she shot herself of some little meals that she puts together. She can tell you more about what prophetic cooking is, but if you're into eating healthier meals, if you're into learning how to do some simple recipes and then other times maybe some more, fancy stuff, then I would suggest you go and follow her page and also connect with her on Instagram. And she probably has a TikTok too. But you see her name there, Jatova Jones. Find her, connect with her. Her website is propheticcooking.com. She just dropped her um, first cooking lesson, and if you're into that, please go and check it out. J.K. Smith is a baker. She's the baker lady. Man, I'm thinking that I would love to see y'all maybe collaborate on something and talk about baking and talk about cooking and maybe give people some lessons. We cannot do things on our own, and the beautiful thing about collaborations is when you collaborate with someone, you are gaining access to their network and they're gaining access to your network. And if y'all don't know each other like that, then you're likely going to have a lot of diversity within those networks, and that will help spread whatever you're doing faster. If I go and collaborate with someone that is my best friend and that we do the same thing and that we know the same people and online. It's cool that if we collaborate together, but if we collaborate, I also have to understand that our networks are likely going to be the same. So we're going to have a lot of overlapping connections, and the message that we're trying to put out there, it will spread, but it won't spread as fast as you exploring connections with people that are within your same industry but aren't necessarily someone that you're super close to. So I would love to see more. Erica, I got stuff for you. I just got to make sure I get it together and so that it looks right. And I'm tired, and I unexpectedly had to take a little bit of a rest and get behind, and I'm okay with that, but it's just slowing me down. But I do have something for you, and I was going to message you today and let you know I have not forgotten about you and that I apologize for the delay. So, Jatova, put your thing there so that people can see your page. I hope y'all have a great day. Gio, thanks for coming back on. J.K. Smith, thanks for coming in here. Diane, thanks for coming back. Carolyn Francis, thanks for coming back. Shakira said, confirmations. Thank you so much. Yeah, I had to come on here and share it. I didn't want to. I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to get on there, and like I said, I got a whole, something planned that I want to do, and I got energy for just that one thing, and I don't want to do nothing else. But then I talked to that one person this morning, and I'm like, that was the first positive trigger. And positive triggers are good. Positive triggers can be you writing a sticky note to yourself and sticking it on the first thing that you'll look at in the morning to remind you to do something. Or it can be you saying, I need to drink more water, so you put a bottle of water on your nightstand beside your bed, so you know to drink that water when you see it. So when this person called, it was like a positive trigger, like, hey, there's something on your heart and you need to share it, because it keeps spilling out in everything you write. You've written 3 different things over the span of like a week, and they're all related to the same thing. So I had to come on. So I appreciate you all for coming on here. I was actually kind of annoyed because I'm like, man, I just did a live yesterday and I just shared it with my text community, and then I'm coming back on today and I'm doing it. I was like, I don't want to do this, but I did it, and so I'm here. Erica, thank you for your grace. Wow, 400 students. 400 students. Wow. Jatova Jones just shared her stuff. So propheticcooking.com. You all can find her page on Facebook at Prophetic Cooking, and then on Instagram at prophetic underscore, can't even talk, Jesus, prophetic underscore cooking. And for my group members that are on here, I got a video that is going to be dropping to tell you all some new audio spaces to utilize if you want to do some live audio streams. So if you're not a part of the group, get over there, because I share more with my group, because I'm connected to them and I feel called to do something more intense, and the people that are there get access to that. So if you want, join the group. Again, you can find it on Facebook. It's called the Smoking Prophet Podcast, Dreamers Ignited. And with that being said, I'm getting off of here because I am tired. All right, y'all have the most amazing day. Carolyn, thank you. Until next time, bye.